It's going to go live here in a minute. I guess it's live now. You're probably like, hey, where's our cool beginning music and the MG midget and so on and so forth? Well, I got caught up in listening to a podcast, and I totally lost track of the time. And I had this little notice jump up saying, hey, time to start the live stream. And I'm like, holy hell. The podcast is called The Rest is History. You probably already know about it. It's a really popular podcast. It's not like I'm telling you anything that you don't know. But if you don't know it, it is phenomenal. I'm an Anglophile, so I love the sound of two English gentlemen, educated gentlemen talking about history, and it's just fantastic. Hey, Pamela, great to have you along. You know what, folks? Holy hell, this is our last one. This is our last live stream in the Real World Ready. Next time I do this, I need to choose a name that's easier to say. Real World Ready podcast. And today, as our ending one, hey, Parker. Yeah, podcasts, they're totally addicting. Hey, Avery. And this one's just great. It's just great. All right. I'm thinking, I started a podcast way back, didn't stick with it, chose to discontinue it, but there's still part of me that wants to do one. And so, all right, Lon, get in the right headspace. It's time to live stream. Well, today we're talking about resilience and adaptability. Hey, Jenny, great to have you. I make the case that resilience and adaptability, well, it's really important. It's just, gosh. Here's the deal, guys. Life is hard. Life is really hard. There's this meme. I sound like a bitter, angry, cantankerous old man, which is on brand. Anyway, I sound like this when I talk about this meme. I saw this meme one time that had a bunch of high school kids at graduation throwing their miter boards. Hey, Rihanna. Throwing their miter board caps up into the air. And the meme said, congratulations for completing the easiest part of your life. Life doesn't get easier as you get older. It actually gets more difficult. Now, why then do we enjoy it? Because, hey, Anna, great to have you here. As you get older, you get wiser, you get more chill, you have more autonomy. You can make your own decisions. If you want to have ice cream for dinner, you can have ice cream for dinner. And so while it does get more difficult, life, you're given more tools to deal with it. When you're younger, life isn't as difficult, but you don't have any tools to deal with it. So it seems pretty darn rough. All right. This is a long-winded way of saying resilience and adaptability is a life skill that is going to keep you going when those tough times come along. And so that's what we're talking about today. Here's the first thing that I really invite you to bear in mind. And this really is going to sound like old man advice today. I'm personally of the opinion, well, it's not that I'm of the opinion. This is a funky live stream so far. I'm really, you know how they say be authentic? Yeah, that's probably not a good idea, but I don't know how to be anything but authentic. Where was I going with this? I have recently become of the opinion, come to the understanding that advice from old men is useless. Now, it's not because it's not good advice. It's actually really good advice. I have gone through well over half a century of experience, and I have learned a lot about how to cope with this affliction bestowed upon us called life. I know how to deal with it. But here's the thing. I learned it because I experienced it. I didn't learn it because I read a really great poem, although I've read some decent stuff. And so advice from old people, it's like, all right, you understand that because you experienced it, but I'm not there yet. And it won't be until you experience it that you kind of go, oh, I get it. This is why, and raise your hand, your virtual hand there, raise your hand if you've ever had the experience of waking up one day and thinking of something that your mother or father told you when you were younger and you said, yeah, go to hell. And you think of it and you go, well, son of a bitch, they were right. Oh, I hate that. I've only done that about 15 million times with advice from my father and mother and so forth. So, all right, let's get to the old man advice then. Failure has had a totally bum rap, okay? Fighting Panda. Oh, there's a winning name. That's a winning name. Failure is awesome. Failure is fantastic. You should seek after failure. Let me explain. So we'll read this verbiage here, right? Instead of viewing unmet goals as failures, frame them as opportunities to learn what worked and what didn't. Because that's really what they are. They're just lessons. When I say you should seek after failure, I mean that crap, okay? Because failure is the lesson, and the lesson makes you better for next time. Now, the funny darn thing is that, you know, if you have a little brother or sister or a little niece or nephew or whatever, and you see them walking for the first time and they're stumbling about looking like a drunken sailor and then they fall in their face, you don't go, you worthless little, I can't believe I share genetic material with you. What kind of waste of space are you? You can't even walk. You don't do that. At least not anymore. You encourage them. They get up and they keep going and going and they get better and better and you cheer for them every time. And yet somehow or another, as we get older, we start to really, just dump on failure. So you're learning, I'm learning, we're all learning. Well, when you're a kid learning, that's okay, but it doesn't take long for failure to become something for which we should be ashamed and that we should want to hide. And in fact, we hate failure so much that we don't even try. You can't fail if you don't try. So, no. So, why is this about resilience and adaptability? Because in today's society, failure really invites you to feel shame, self-loathing, a sense of inadequacy, and why are you even trying? And so we are not resilient. We pull back, we build up our shells, or as Pink Floyd would say, the wall, right? Whereas if you look at failure as a learning and growth and progression opportunity, which are all those are all my favorite words. Learning, growth, progression. I get off on that stuff. That's what failure brings us. So all of a sudden, failure isn't something that we should be ashamed of. Failure is something that we should say, that was awesome. Let's try it again. All right. Advice 1. Next one, embrace challenges. Difficulties are opportunities for growth, not reasons to shirk and to pull back and to avoid. It's this interesting thing, and I'm actually going to do a video about this someday, and I think we talked about it in a past podcast, but a different one, a past live stream, my work shift live stream. Why do we avoid hard work? It's interesting to me that we don't want to do things that are hard. Now, there's a whole bunch of reasons, and that's why I'm going to do a video about it sometimes. We're not sure what success looks like. We don't feel like we have the competencies to do it. We are afraid of the risk involved and what we might lose if we fail. Once again, the F word, right? And so when we see something hard, difficult, or challenging, we immediately kind of go into this defense mode versus a really excited, this is going to be amazing mode, okay? And so when you see a challenge, when you see something that's difficult, and you start to feel your brain generating reasons why you should avoid this, shut all that out and find reasons to get really excited about it. Okay. Stay focused. Okay, in terms of resilience and so forth. Remember when you fail and you're pushed back and you're put back on your hindquarters, you may feel this temptation to walk away from what you were trying and to maybe shift over to something else. No. Stay focused on your main goal. The way challenges get the upper hand is when they become distracted and lose focus. That's the most crappy worded sentence you've ever seen in your life. So, failure. Anyway, the point is, challenges only beat you when you lose focus, lose energy, lose motivation, and start to wander off into the wilderness and do something else that is not what you were really trying to do, whether that be earn a degree, whether that mean build a career, or what have you. So you are going to run into challenges. You are going to run into failures. Stay focused. Remember, okay, so this didn't work out as well as I wanted it to, but I'm staying focused on my goal. I'm going to keep going after it. Next one, be flexible. Okay, so you're going to stay focused on your goal, but you don't necessarily have to be focused on how you are trying to achieve your goal, okay? You know the saying that the sign of insanity or whatever, I don't know, is if you keep doing the same thing and expect different results. It's something like that, right? The sign of insanity is you keep doing the same thing over and over and expect different results. You want to stay focused on your goal, but you want to be totally flexible in terms of how you pursue that goal. Okay, this is part of resilience and adaptability. Every time you learn and grow and fail, you get a better understanding of your environment, and you get a better understanding of how things operate in that environment, which means you may need to adapt how you are pursuing your goal given the parameters of the environment. So, gosh, what's an example for me? Okay. So I'm working on my MG midget, right? And I have goals around my MG midget. And I went into it at the beginning of the year with a certain mindset about how you pursue goals. You set up SMART objectives. They're specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, time-bound. You map them out in a calendar, and you figure out the tactics and the inputs that you need, and you execute those on time, and you're going to reach your goal. In just about everything that I've done, that works really well. It doesn't work at all on the MG. I'm almost 60 years old and I'm still learning. And I've learned that this sort of goal setting process doesn't work for the MG midget. What I am understanding is each time I go out there, I'm not going out. If I set a goal for what I'm going to accomplish each time I go into a garage, I will probably fail because I will learn 3 or 4 things that I need to do first, right? And so I'm having to be really flexible about how I pursue this goal. But the goal is the same. The goal is get that thing up and running. So I'm laser focused on the objective, but I'm being flexible in how I accomplish it. All right. Develop emotional intelligence. Emotional intelligence is one of these words or phrases that everybody loves to kick around. Oh, I hate these things. I don't hate the concept of emotional intelligence. I hate it when a word becomes hip to where we don't understand what it means anymore, like emotional intelligence or strategic or, there's all kinds. There's all kinds, right? Mindfulness. Mindfulness is another one. Mindfulness is really important. Can you define it? No, because it's just become this cliche word. Anyway, emotional intelligence. Understand and manage your emotions while empathizing with others. That's the definition. Let's talk about this when it comes to resilience and adaptability. Remember, we didn't even talk about it, but you know this. So let me conjure what you already know. We need resilience when we are faltering, when we feel like we are being, thrown off course and that we are going to fail and that we will not achieve that which we want to achieve because we're just getting battered from every direction. That's when we need resilience. Okay. Well, part of that is understanding the emotions involved in the experience of getting battered from every direction. So we want to understand our own emotions. Why am I feeling what I'm feeling? And we want to understand the emotions of others, those who are battering us, and really kind of get into their heads and understand where they're coming from. So I'm going to be a little bit forthcoming with you here. So I'm taking the day off today. I had a few meetings scheduled, but I'm not in the right headspace for these meetings. I've had kind of a tough time of it lately. And so I practiced emotional intelligence to understand that, you know what, with how I'm feeling and how I'm responding to other people and so forth, this would not be a good day for me to engage in these activities. It's better for me to pull back, do a quick little live stream, play fetch with the dogs, work on some videos, work on some scripting, things like that, so that I can get myself in the right, proper headspace to then start working with people over the weekend and so forth. And likewise, when I think about others who are battering, we all have batterers, right? I think, okay, where are they coming from and what's driving them? What are they concerned about? And what aspects of what they value do they feel are being challenged? We don't act the way we do because we're idiots or a-holes. We act the way we do because we feel that we are not being validated. We feel that the things that we value are being challenged, or maybe even we feel that somebody is threatening to take them away. And this puts us in a space where we are scared and defensive and attacking. Emotional intelligence allows us to kind of step back and go, yeah, okay, I kind of see that. Instead of, oh, I'm going to do a shit post like you've never seen before, right? So this helps us in being resilient in a good, healthy way. All right, number 6, build support networks. Networks are expensive, important. I think we talked about networking last time. And when it comes to building a career, I think that was last week's live stream. Well, networks are also really important when it comes to emotional support. Sometimes we just need to talk it out, right? And maybe they can come up with solutions for us and so on and so forth, but it's not about finding solutions necessarily or always. Sometimes it's just the therapy of talking it out, exploring the ideas, letting other people, offer other viewpoints, other philosophies that will help kind of put things into context. And yes, perhaps offer some suggestions on actions you can take to get back in the saddle after being, kicked off the thing. So this is a big part of resilience, is having a good support network to help you out. This support network, of course, can be family, it can be friends, it can be professional colleagues with whom you have a good, solid relationship. It can be mentors, it can be communities. The Nutshell Brainery community is all about this as well. So, find those networks of folks who can say, oh man, I get it, without judgment, and can still embrace and love you for what you're going through. And then seek feedback. Okay, so remember, resilience should help us come out stronger on the other side. And feedback is really important to help us understand what are the lessons that we should have learned in this quote unquote failure. Now, of course, we're practicing emotional intelligence and we are heuristically, kind of introspectively trying to figure out what is the lesson I need to learn from this, like what I've learned with my MG midget. But yeah, you know what? Feedback from others can be really, really valuable to help us see things that are in our blind spot. And we all have blind spots. So, for example, I will be soliciting feedback from my students on the work shift, the Nutshell Compound work shift live stream that I do every Tuesday. I'm trying to figure out how I want to approach that, if I want to continue it, if I want to discontinue or expand or what. I have some ideas, but the feedback that I'm going to get from my students, that's going to be really valuable. And that will help me be resilient as I kind of lick my wounds after this semester and figure out what I'm going to do going forward. And then, engage in self-care. Today, when I canceled my meetings, that was self-care. That was not an act of, to hell with you, I'm not doing it or anything, because the meetings are actually meetings I was looking forward to. But I knew that I would not get as much out of them as I normally do. And so by saying, you know what, today's just going to be a Nutshell Brainery day. Today's going to be a puppy day. Today's going to be a work in the yard day. That's all self-care, and that's what I needed. And so you want to make sure that you find ways to prioritize mental and physical well-being to maintain the energy you need to deal with your challenges. Everybody needs a rest period. It's a funny thing. Back when I used to do Ironman triathlons, you go through this whole sequence of training, this whole system, a periodization of training, intervals and speed work, and then endurance and, periodization. And then every 6 weeks or so, you would have a rest week. Now, a rest week wasn't you don't do anything. It was you just do the same stuff, but a whole lot less and a whole lot slower with a lot less effort. And it's a weird thing because when you're hardwired to do an Ironman triathlon, you think you need to be training 24/7. You really do. And sometimes it's really hard to take a rest week. And those who don't take the rest weeks, they suffer. You need to practice self-care and you need to give yourself time to heal and to process what you've learned and apply it going forward and get the energy you need to be successful going forward. Okay, so 26 minutes, not bad. Here's our call to action. Choose 2 or 3 of your favorite techniques, write them down, and practice them as you come up against challenges. Those of you who are in my classes, you're coming to an end of the semester, you're looking at a whole boatload of challenges. Those of you who are graduating and going on to university, you're looking at new challenges. So kind of take a note of the things that resonated most with you and what we talked about and put them into practice. Now, I want to call out, I totally understand that out of context, this stuff is just kind of nebulous, woo-woo philosophical crap. Make it real by doing it and seeing how it works. And then you can kind of go, oh, okay, now I see what he was talking about. All right. And as always, thank you to my Patreon supporters. We have a new one, Eric Hartwick. Oh, did I spell his name right? I think I spelled his name right. Eric, I hope I spelled your name right. And guys, I really appreciate you supporting this optional live stream, these Friday morning live streams. Many of you are college students and you have to learn all kinds of crap in the program and so forth in my classes and in other people's classes. But I just really feel it's important to make sure that you come away with real, actionable skills that are durable and will help you build and maintain and thrive in your career going forward. And while understanding the invisible hand and Adam Smith is fascinating, it's not going to put food on your table. Being resilient and adaptable, building a network, all the other things that we've talked about, that's going to put food on your table. So I deeply appreciate you supporting this live stream series, and I hope you got a lot out of it. And with that, we're all set. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to stick around for a little while and answer any questions you might have or anything like that. Otherwise, I hope you have a fantastic weekend. And if you're taking a summer break, have a great summer break. And if you're not taking a summer break, stay in touch. We'll connect up at Salt Lake Community College. And if you're moving on, I hope you stick around at Nutshell Brainery and subscribe to the newsletter, get on to Patreon. It's free. There are paid tiers, but there are also free tiers. And that way you can be a part of the community, get into my Discord and stuff, and just continue to be part of this. All right. Thanks a lot, guys. I deeply appreciate it. Fighting Panda from Venezuela. Oh, no, that's awesome. Hey, Parker, thank you very much. And Tyler, I appreciate it. Fighting Panda, I still think you have the winning username there. Have a great one, folks. Hey, Rihanna, thank you. I hope I'm pronouncing Rihanna's name right. Hey, Anna, thanks a lot. We'll see you, Jenny. Have a great weekend. Psycho Panda, Tyler. That's a good one, too. That's a good one. Pamela, thank you. I appreciate it. All right. Well, I see people dropping off and comments slowing down. So, with that, I'm going to go ahead and sign off, and we'll see you. Oh, Tyler. Oh, I appreciate that. All right. I'll see you over on the flip side. Thanks a lot.